Rode has announced some of their upcoming products on the 16th of April on the 2023 NAB show, which is quite interesting for us in itself, but let's unfold what was really announced here. They have started with the Wireless Me, which is not really an interesting bit as it was already announced a month or so ago. So let's see if the Wireless Go 2 gets the apparently amazing intelligent gain assist technology down the road as well. What we do know is that the Wireless Go 2 has by now got the WAV file direct export, no need to use Rode Central, much easier, and it gets a fine charging case, albeit it will be like $30 more expensive than other third-party options. But it will also be a protective case at the same time, which is nice. The third-party options hover around $49, by the way, and this will be $79. The ability to start and stop onboard recording on the units themselves, plus more camera presets are rounding out the updates there. One more quite impressive thing, but that is more related to the Rodecastr Pro II, which gets wireless mic connectivity unlocked. This is a surprise that the RCP2 actually had dual-channel wireless mic receiver built in all along since the launch, because the Rodecastr Pro II is the receiver itself, and you just need to pair the transmitters to it. But now it's unlocked. Great. Be aware though that you do not get additional mic channels, as they will occupy one or two of the existing mic inputs. And there will be one more thing on the Rodecastr Pro II, but let's save it for towards the end of this video, as it ties into an even more important announcement. But before we move on, let's mention the dedicated Rodecaster backpack, which was announced at the RCP2 launch event back in last June and July, but that video was removed. It seems like there must have been some kind of production issues, and I'm really excited for it. I actually carry the RCP2 from A to B, so this will make it a whole lot easier and safer, as I saw the backpack will sell around $180. What would, however, make it even easier to carry the Rodecastr Pro II generally if it would be a little smaller, and Rode did just that by announcing the RCP Duo. The Rodecastr Pro II is by no means a huge device. It is already a lot more compact than the original Rodecastr Pro or the Tascam Mixcast 4, but the Rodecastr Duo is a very sensible downsizing of it, as majority of the Rodecastr Pro II users don't actually utilize all the 4 analog mic inputs. What's interesting is that they have added a TRRS port to the front of the device. However, be aware that this TRRS port is not what the RCP2 users were missing the most from the original Rodecastr Pro, as opposed to the original Rodecastr Pro, you cannot use it to connect a phone to it with Mix Minus, as Ryan explained it in a follow-up reel on Instagram. This port is only for headphones or headsets. It will, however, get its own input channel, which immediately makes the Rodecastr Duo a 3-mic input device, even if this third one is for headsets specifically, or to any mic that works with a TRRS cable, like the VideoMic Go 2, by the way. What I'm wondering, how you would adjust the volume level that you are hearing in those headsets, and if you can include it in the custom routing options, like for creating a submix for the headsets. But I think it is safe to assume that you can, as first they get their own channel, which operates seemingly as all the other channels, and on the other hand, I don't see any other option to adjust the monitoring level there for a headset that's plugged into that TRRS port. Otherwise, the RCP Duo will have the same feature set as the Rodecastr Pro II, which is unparalleled when it comes to virtual channels, routing options, and dual USB connectivity. So it seems to be a sweet spot for many, but the manufacturing suggested retail price of $499 has already raised some eyebrows. Considering that you can get the original Rodecastr Pro for around $400 already, to me it would have made sense that it will land at $399. That would sweep away all previous recommendations like an avalanche. Granted, it would then drive down the price of the original Rodecastr Pro even further down. And also, if I think about it, the $499 start to make sense as soon as you look at products like the Neumann interface, the RME Babyface, Apogee Duet, and Universal Audio, or even the freshly announced Boss Geekcaster or Jigcaster 5 and 8, I think they are. They are all much more expensive, and for a podcaster or streamer, they do not even offer this array of functionalities like the dual USB interface or the assignable fader setup. So it kind of makes sense at the same time. Then, one of the 3 really important announcements, which by the way all are related to an entirely new product, the StreamerX, under the Rode X branding. It is a capture card, and an audio interface in one with SmartPads for $399. The big question for me here was if it can record to an external drive, and although it was neither confirmed nor denied, it seems like it cannot. First of all, it does not have an SD card slot built in, and I'm guessing that down the line you will be able to record both video and audio feed using one of the USB ports, at least I hope so, which would be amazing. And if it records in 4K, then the price is, I would say, immediately justified without even knowing what the SmartPads will be able to do. One hint on the SmartPads, they will also be able to trigger keyboard shortcut commands, which brings it to the Stream Deck territory, especially useful for solo content creators to have Pro mics and HDMI synced and captured in 4K. Plus, you can output that HDMI signal as well. And actually the throughput, so the HDMI through output, can output 4K 60 Hz, which is pretty impressive. Most importantly, however, and this is the real announcement here, I think, the device integrates with the Unify software. Finally, it will be the first interface with an XLR input that works with Unify, which unlocks a whole new horizon. Think Elgato Wave XLR on steroids. The biggest advantage of the Elgato Wave XLR is that it works with WaveLink, which is a really capable audio management software, but it is nowhere near Unify, alone because Unify has a multi-channel recorder built right in. Granted, you cannot at this point use third-party voice processing plugins with Unify, but it does also have built-in voice processing using Rode's own digital signal processors, along with the 4 USB mic inputs, which you can plug into the same computer, don't forget, and the 6 separately assignable USB input channels and the 5 different output mixes. It provides a very advanced functionality. It would be nice to see if the StreamerX could trigger the Rode Connect or Unify sound pads from the Streamer 4K directly. Thirdly, and this is what many have been waiting for, with the release of the StreamerX unit, Rode has confirmed that the Unify software will work on Mac too. Of course, you had Rode Connect on Mac, but Unify is just more advanced. For example, with its latest beta update, you can trigger mixer actions like the talkback channels and also voice effects. It pretty much mimics the Rodecastr Pro II's feature set on the SmartPads now on your computer, for free. Of course, you need compatible Rode gear to make use of it, but still, no other manufacturer provides such enhanced functionality to their gear so far. Next came the PodMic USB, and as the name suggests, it's the dual USB XLR version of the ever so popular Rode PodMic. What I really like about it is that it now includes the pop filter we've seen on the XCM100, which is a great addition to the PodMic, and it looks badass too. Hopefully these will be sold separately as well, so that you can apply them on older PodMics too, of which I am using 3 for our corporate podcast, by the way. And right off the tail waves of the NT1 5th generation, the PodMic USB actually improves on it in many ways. First and most importantly, the PodMic USB has a headphone output for zero latency monitoring, which the NT1 5th gen does not have. It may or may not be an issue on the NT1 5th gen. Look out for my review about it, which is in the works. Second, the USB port on it is not buried into the XLR port, which theoretically makes it possible to record through the XLR and through the USB connection simultaneously, like a dry signal through the XLR and a processed one via USB, or any other type of redundancy setups. Let's see if this will really be the case. It also works with Unify and Rode Connect, which is a great advantage, but then again, so does the NT1 5th gen. However, the NT1 5th gen does not work with mobile devices like iPhones or tablets, whereas the PodMic USB does, which is amazing, and together with the lately released Rode Capture app, it actually offers a great mobile recording solution. I don't think that it would offer 32-bit float recording like the NT1 5th gen does. Again, it was not mentioned, so neither confirmed nor denied, but what it will offer is that you can actually plug it into the Rodecastr Pro II as well. Not only as an XLR mic, but if you want, also as a USB mic, expanding the total number of mic inputs from 4 to 5 on the Rodecastr Pro II, and this is huge. Rode has teased earlier that they were working on adding this functionality to the Rodecastr Pro II. Let's see if it will be a universally available feature for any USB mic, which would be a world's first when it comes to being able to connect a USB mic to an audio interface. You may say that, hang on a minute, isn't the purpose of the USB mic to not need an audio interface in the first place. And yes, it is. But if you want to simultaneously record a USB mic and an XLR mic, you could not do it so far with any single audio interface to my knowledge. Now this is even more important for the Rodecaster Duo, as it only has 2 mic inputs plus eventually the TRRS input for a headset, but this functionality of the PodMic USB can now extend it to 4, which provides great versatility even at the cost of one of the USB ports. So at the end of the day, what has Rode really announced here? Well, I think there were 3 really important announcements between the product lines. First is that they are working on integrating the amazing Unify software with their hardware. This, I'm sure, will have an impact on how the Rodecastr Pro II will integrate more USB channels, which is on the top of the list of widely requested features. And which is why, currently, the Go XLR still has an edge, at least in that terms. Then, that the first device to showcase that will be the Streamer 4K, which is a new territory for Rode for the video capturing side of the home studio content creation. And finally, with the release of the StreamerX, Unify will work on Mac as well. I don't think we have to wait too long until the Rodecaster series will also get Unify integration, and as soon as Unify will work on Mac, that will probably be the end of Rode Connect. That is, if the current mics that only work with Rode Connect but not with Unify will be updated to do work with it. The recent update of Rode Connect that makes it look strikingly similar to Unify is a not so subtle hint to it. It's great to see Rode starting to challenge the video side of things as well, which makes a lot of sense as streaming and video podcasts are on the rise. The Streamer 4K integrated with Unify is therefore probably the most important new product in this announcement that I'm sure will lead to many more iterations down the line. I certainly would love to see at least 3 HDMI inputs with dedicated switcher buttons to have the 3 classic angles of the video podcast possible, as well as recording capability. And down the line, the smart pads on the side could then trigger picture-in-picture, lower thirds, transitions, and other kind of macro functions. Think the ATEM mini line from Blackmagic Design. Recording to a USB drive is in fact so important in my view that it would justify the relatively high price tag of $399. I say relatively, as while it has a limited functionality, single HDMI input, therefore no switching, no picture-in-picture, yet there's no other device out there to combine a high-end audio interface with stellar software support and a 4K capture card and a macro pad at the same time. A risky territory as there are some established players there, but a potentially very lucrative one and with a lot of potential. Looking forward to see what's on the roadmap. With that, thanks for watching and bye for now.